This seems absolutely insane. 8 Indians detained in Qatar, and as mentioned by the Ministry of External Affairs, the Court of First Instance of Qatar has today passed a judgment handing them the penalty. India's Ministry of External Affairs finds it shocking, and as expected, many Indians are outraged. Indians think that Qatar is crossing the line here. But why is Qatar doing this? Well, experts indicate that the real reasons Qatar is doing this to India are dirty. Very dirty. But before we explore those reasons, the biggest question is, what can India do here? Well, as observed here, the only way forward would be that the case goes to a higher court. Right now, it is in a court of first instance. Then perhaps a pardon can be sought from the emir. But why is Qatar behaving like this? Does Qatar have a nefarious agenda behind all this? Seems there is more to it. To start with, is India getting dragged into intra-Gulf rivalries? As mentioned by the former diplomat and strategic affairs expert K.C. Singh, Qatar was demonized by UAE and Saudis. India drew closer to rulers of those two nations alongside US. Abraham Accords excluded Qatar, which harbors Hamas leaders. The sad truth is that there are many forces in the Middle East whose interest or business blossom when the region has wars and chaos. India is trying to enter the scene partnering with the USA through a mega corridor. Not all countries are happy about it. Many in Qatar seem to view India with an overtly Islamist angle. India's balanced position in the ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine is probably not digestible to them. They want India to support whom they support. They want India to hate those whom they hate. Perhaps that is why the timing of this verdict and the verdict itself raise a lot of questions. Seems somebody is not very happy with India. So what reflects Qatar's foreign policy position? Well, as observed here, the Al Jazeera media network is funded by the Qatari government but maintains it operates independently. Critics have said it reflects the foreign policy position of Qatar. Yes, the same Al Jazeera that has supported Islamization of Kashmir, directly or indirectly. So, can Qatar be India's genuine well-wisher? Well, you have the answer. Qatar's poor and inhuman treatment of foreign nationals has been observed on multiple occasions. It was revealed that Qatari authorities are ignoring international law by failing to inform embassies when their citizens are arrested, detained, or are pending trial for a sentence. It is important to point out that the vulnerability of a foreign national arrested abroad is recognized in international law with the UN's Vienna Convention on Consular Relations 1963. Qatar acceded to this convention in 1998, which mandates that when a foreign national is arrested, detained or pending trial in another state, the authorities of the host nation must inform the individual without delay that they are entitled to have consular officials informed of their detention, and if they request it, the consulate must be notified immediately. But this research found that the Qatari authorities do not honor this agreement in practice. The advocates for human rights highlighted that Qatar fails to uphold its obligations under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. As explained here, recent history suggests that a migrant worker may be more likely to be sentenced to death and executed for being a Qatari national as opposed to a non-citizen. Migrant workers are particularly vulnerable in the context of the country's criminal legal system. Of course, it is expected that Mr. Modi should take it up at the highest level with the government of Qatar and bring India's former naval officers back home by getting their sentences commuted immediately. Probably Qatar is not realizing that it is messing with the wrong country. Canada has learned that tough lesson. Is it Qatar's turn? See you again.